We so often overlook the spaces between destinations, forgetting that the journey often lies in the in-between. I'm your host, Corey Curran. Hey loves, welcome back to the In-Between Time. I'm your host, Corey, and today I am sitting here with a good friend of mine, Miss Jynelle, and we are going to discuss our love for film, how we got here, the trials and tribulations, the journey, things of that nature. So welcome, Jynelle.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here and to talk to you. It's always a pleasure.
I'm so excited for you to be here too. So tell me, what brought you to LA? Like, tell me your journey. Like, what got you here? How did you start? Things of that nature. What made you say, I'm coming, I'm going to go? Like, what were you doing back home in San Fran?
Okay, so I'm from the Bay Area, and basically I was just living my life there, and you know, I had I think I was working in banking at the time, or in maybe customer service, and yeah, I think it was just getting to the point where I knew I've always loved storytelling and being on stage and wanting to tell stories and write, and I think it was just that thing where I got in my own way, and I just felt like, who am I to pursue this dream? And then I hit 30, and a lot of like big things happened in my life, you know, some major losses and things like that that really made me reevaluate what was going on. And I just said, you know, fuck it, I need to move to LA and try, because that's like the first, I feel like that's the first hurdle, right? You feel like you want to at least satisfy that you tried. And then when I got here, you know, I really understand that's not really a thing. Like, if you're here, you're here. And anybody can be here, anybody can be successful. It's really, I think, about the work and about how much you put yourself out there and how much you're willing to grow, as painful as that is, in so many different ways too. Because already starting into it, but I was having a conversation with somebody that's, you know, in the entertainment industry that does sound, and it was it felt like kind of a bitter or jaded conversation. And like, I can understand people feeling like they're being realistic, but to me, I really believe that if you're here, you know, you're supposed to grow. And, you know, this person was kind of complaining about, like, he didn't want to do the whole branding yourself and selling yourself. And I think that's how he framed it in his mind. But for me, it's kind of like, no, I think it's asking you to grow in a department that you're not comfortable with. You know, and maybe that does include being professional and learning how to network with people and being responsive in a professional and clear way with people. You know, maybe that means, yeah, going out to some lunches with people and meeting people you don't know and putting yourself out of that comfort zone. I think people really, they downplay the power of that. And then they want to just say, oh, well, I don't want to sell out. To me, it's not selling out. You're asking yourself to grow in many ways, because this is such a collaborative and multifaceted industry or form of art, however you want to look at it. And so you can't just be like, oh, I'm a great storyteller, and then not be able to communicate with people. You know, where's your story going to get? You can't just think, oh, I just make the film, somebody else has to sell them. Like, you really have to be, I think, involved in like the life cycle of your piece of art. You know, things are different now than maybe they used to be. But I'm excited for that, you know? I think the way things used to be wouldn't ever include people like me and you doing the positions that we want to do. But in these days, you have that. And so that to me is what's exciting.
I will second that, because the fact that we have so much access now and we are able to do our own thing, and it usually involves every step of the process. It's that goes to show like where we are versus where, you know, the industry started. Everybody walks around, honestly, with a phone, and that means you have almost a whole studio in your pocket. If you really realize that you have, y'all, for real, we're filming, we're getting coverage on 2 iPhones, my phone and her phone. So because that's what we have right now.
No excuses, basically.
There's no excuses.
No more excuses. None. You know, nobody's shooting on film anymore, and if you do, that's a choice.
That's a choice.
Yeah, you have it in your pocket.
some people love that craft. That's a craft to some people, but today that's not something you necessarily have to do. It's not even necessarily, you just flat out don't have to do it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we have a lot more access. So no, there are no excuses anymore if you really, really, really want it. And that's one thing I learned about moving out. Well, I will say this: back in DC, I was doing little short films. That's when I had my other brand, Love Tales, and I would do short films about my horrible dates, and it would be like me reenacting them.
Oh, that's cute.
And but like literally, I gathered my friends that I knew in the district. I gathered a team of people who like worked with me in my theater program. Are y'all free this day? Are y'all free this day? Can you be in it? And that's how I did that. And then I had that same mentality moving out here. I think the thing about LA is finding a tribe. But the other thing about LA is that the fact that you're in this space where there's so many people like you. I'm like, if like you're interested, this is like fertile ground because there's so many. If you can't find somebody who's on your level doing the same thing, that it's like, well, then what are you doing? It's the people, and I think Issa said it best. Like, it's the people who are currently around you who are going to like elevate you.
Yeah, we're supposed to elevate together.
Exactly. So that's one thing like I'm realizing about being out here and that I'm loving. Like I love that. Like take me back to DC and put me back in like government world. I'm wanting to pull my hair out. But the fact that like everything out here is almost geared towards that aspect of me, it almost makes you feel like you can just flat out thrive,
There's definitely the space here. You have to be brave enough to come here and to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do agree. Yeah, you'll meet people like you, and you also I think have to do some like inner work to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that too, where someone comes here and you would think that they would, want to work with people similar to them who have the same maybe things to say or whatnot. But sometimes you find people and it's like they have that only room for one mentality.
Yeah.
And and I hate that. So I really do think you have to do some of that inner work so that you can be happy for other people, because other people are gonna receive a lot of success you will not, but you will also receive success other people will not. But you have to be okay with it going both ways,
right?
And I think a lot of people kind of, I don't know, like in my experience here, you can tell that sometimes people are not happy for you when good things are happening, as if it's somehow a reflection on their own, their own luck or their own journey. And I don't think it is. And it sucks that sometimes you feel like you can't even celebrate with people that should be part of your community.
Right.
And I think that it just makes the whole thing so much lonelier, because it's like, you're out of everyone in the world, man. Like, we're here together, like you said earlier, right? Like, we're on the same level, we're in the same pool, and it's like, whatever I'm experiencing now, you're gonna experience what in the next 6 months? Whatever you experience now, I'm gonna experience the next 6 months.
And I'm gonna cheer for you when you experience it.
Yeah, man, like cheer for me and I'll cheer for you. And I do think sometimes that is lacking. And I'm also like, I'm the kind of person that I do really like to support and encourage people, because I think
you really are.
I think it's, like, how cool is it when your friend is making a movie? That's super cool. Sometimes we get caught up in the bullshit here, but like back in your government days, back when I was working, up north, it's like, that's cool. And I made a movie actually right before I moved out.
I remember you showed me.
Yeah, it was like a 30-minute, like I'm actually looking back, I'm like, yeah, we did it. And we just did it with a tripod, a DSLR, and like a Zoom. And it was just because this guy that I knew liked to make movies, and he heard I like to write. And so I was like, well, I wrote the script, and he's like, we can do this. And, we cast it and just did the whole thing. And I think that was the first time I was like, oh, you can really do this. You have to be ballsy enough to do it, and, since then, like, I've made a bunch of short films last year. And like 2 of them I made on my iPhone, and it was an old iPhone. It was like, it was 2024 last year, and it was a 12 Pro. And it's old, but you know what? It's like you gotta do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot from both shoots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and even in those shoots, like I have a friend who's using it as part of her demo reel, and it's providing that for her.
Exactly. That's another thing. Like when you are, and I like to call it walking in your calling. When you're walking in your calling, you're in alignment. You will bring other people into theirs. You make a space for them. When I did a surprise for mom, Trevon hit me up not too long ago and said, "Hey, can you send me the video? Because I think I had some good moments in there that I can use for my reel." And I was like, exactly. I guess I should have sent you this a long time ago, but I forgot.
But exactly, that's what we're getting out of each other. So it's like when you are acting for somebody's film, you're doing them a favor. They're also doing you a favor. Where were you gonna get footage from? Were you gonna shoot yourself? And which you can do, and kudos and more power to you. But here's somebody saying, "Hey, you can use this."
Right.
And I do think that's also, as like the filmmaker or whoever is in charge of like the footage, if you say you're giving someone copy and credit, you better give them their copy now.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you edited it or you colored it yet. If you're behind on your timetable, that's kind of on you. You got to give them at least the raw stuff so they can at least use some of it, because I don't think it's fair.
Right.
Because you age out of certain things. Like, you're gonna send me something that we shot 5 years ago. Bruh, I don't look like this anymore. Yeah.
So tell me this: when you where do you get your inspiration from? Where do your stories come from? Because before we got started, you guys, we were watching each other's films, and I got to watch her. What was it called?
It's Pamelia, and it was a recorded stage play of a one act that I wrote.
One act, yes. So tell me, like, where do you get like just your inspiration from? What's some of your stories?
So recently, I've been working on like family dramas, and I think it's due to I've been going to a school, a Meisner Technique school for acting, but it's also a playhouse. And it's called Playhouse West, and it's the last and only authentic Meisner school in LA. But one of the founders of this Meisner school, he literally did study under Sanford Meisner,
I didn't
legitimately. Know that. So that is our legitimacy. Or like two teachers there. So in there, the technique calls a lot for living truthfully in an imagined circumstances, and a lot of it is like journaling and essentially writing your own almost backstory to what is in front of you. And you would have to do these things like setups and these activities, and just when we started doing these like setups, which is essentially like a story you and this other person have agreed upon, but you have your own thing, they have their own thing, but you agreed upon like relationships and things like that, and the general, this is what's happening. And I just started falling in love with like that kind of like drama. And even before, when I used to do improv, I think I was really like, my bag was like increasing the stakes of just making it more like dun dun dun, of like, giving it some sort of like realism that's like and so I started having fun with that in class, of just like making up stories of like, okay, so how like you and I, we have a 17-year difference, like this is like, for example, me and like somebody, or 16-year difference, me and somebody in class, we were doing something, and I was like, okay, what if like I'm your sister, right, your whole life, but you just found out I'm actually your mom, and everyone's been lying to you for like the last 18 years or 16 years or whatever, and it's just like, what do you do there? But it was just interesting. It's almost like posing a question of, what would you do if you were in this situation, or like if you heard that situation was about to go down right here. Like, I'm nosy. I'd be immediately like, what, who, where, who's the wife, who's the guy, which one, how long are they together? Like, I'm over here like all up in it. And there's just something about like raising those stakes. That's something we learned in this school about, how to make it feel important and real to you, is by truly living in the moment and raising those stakes. Like, and I think writing has a lot to do with raising the stakes. And as I watch movies and TV shows now, I it's sometimes it's even subtle. They just continue to raise it as the show goes on. At first it's like, oh, I'm just helping out my buddy, but then it turns out, for their buddy, this is like life or death or a once in a lifetime situation.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes it so much more interesting. So recently I've been very much on that kick and like plays, which I used to love in I feel like that might have been my first love in high school too. Well, no, books were probably my first love. I would say plays when I got to like high school. I started getting really into them, and I guess I've just kind of had a rejuvenation of that since I've been going to this school, and they've been kind enough to help me put up my original work, and planning to put up even more original work through them. So
you mentioned raising the stakes. You sent me something once upon a time that talked about each scene should have a and then.
Oh, the South Park guys.
Yes.
The South Park guys break down that every single scene should be, and then or therefore, right? So if this happens, right, and then this happens, therefore. So it's like a causation. And I think that that's really interesting, and that does really make for like really polished way to write.
Writing.
Yeah, even after you write and then you go back and then you start maybe taking out some things or adding things of like, this just randomly happened. What caused it? I think as the viewer too, it's so much more interesting because you were there with them. So it's kind of like you're discovering it together. I love that when the audience together says,
like each scene, like it might be an entire TV show, entire movie, but each scene has almost its own plot.
Yeah, it's like the micro to the macro.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
each
like
one.
the big season. And then, but each episode is like a mini version, and then each scene inside the episode is like a mini version of that episode. Yeah, I love that. That's one of the reasons I also fell in love with, I think, wanting to be a TV writer or a movie writer. Buffy was my favorite TV show when I was younger.
Really?
And that is okay. Joss Whedon is who he is right now. Oh my God! See. This is the thing. You grow up, your heroes really turn into villains. Because here I am trying to talk about Buffy, all right, and the writing, and then I got to talk about Joss Whedon. But it was literally like the first time where it was like set up in the beginning of a season and the whole season, and then at the end, like that final episode, everything was tied together. It was so like satisfying from that like viewpoint. It was just like whoa. Or even Supernatural, they did that, but to a bigger extent. They did 5 seasons of it, and you thought each season was its own thing. But by the time you reached that 5th season, you were like, "Oh, the whole thing was setting up for it," And then they decided to keep renewing it, so it changed up a little bit. But but it's just that type of writing that like ties everything together. It's so satisfying at the end, like a good detective story, and like every little clue you found finally makes sense, even though they had nothing to do with each other. It's like, oh, got it.
So tell me this, because neither one of us are yet fortunate enough for this to be our full time. So how do you balance life and your dream?
Oh, thank you for that question. That is actually something I've been talking a lot about with just other people who are doing the same thing, because I think there's like a myth that you have to be like this starving, struggling artist. And it's like this romanticized notion, and it's even past being romanticized. It's almost like some people think you have to do that, like that's part of paying your dues, and I don't believe in that.
I don't either.
Yeah, so I'm like, I get it. It's some form of struggle. It's always good for an artist, but life will already give you more than enough struggles. Like I just don't believe in like that performative putting it up or putting it on so that everyone else thinks, I struggled so hard. Like, and for me, I think I work in a corporate day job by day, and then I do this on the side. And for me, that corporate day job actually teaches me lessons in professionalism, in business, in marketing, in growth and development to myself or even my career. Also shows me discipline, because it is very corporate in a certain way. It has actually helped me with organizing my tasks, how to get things done, like truly done, and just like grow and learn even as a leader and how to talk to people. And all of those skills apply to what I'm doing here. So for me, it's almost like I'm getting paid to learn all these things that will benefit me here. Because how many hours have you spent on YouTube, like researching gear or researching how to do something so you can understand it better? Well, they're paying me as they're teaching me those things, and I get to have fun, and I get to also experience life. And I think too, a lot of people move here, and then they get so caught up in this pocket of life that they kind of lose touch a little bit with reality. But like, I'm working with real people. I'm not losing touch of real.
For a reason.
Exactly. And I'm not losing touch because I meet with real people like every day. I see who they really are, and it reminds me of like the like I'm trying to tell stories about people and about life. But you know,
and that's
sometimes.
life.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying, like, you said you're trying to tell stories about people in life, and like you're working with people every day and experiencing life,
like real life
every day. Yeah.
You know, and so like I find it as a blessing. I think it's really lucky for me, and I like my job, and they pay well, and they're very supportive of actually the stuff that I do. Like I am so lucky, and I really love it. And also I happen to work for like a financial institution, so like I'm also learning to be better about my money and things like that, which again, those are all these things that we need in order to continue to be an artist. So yeah, I like what I do, but I can understand somebody else who might want to do the whole I'm gonna live in my car and I'm gonna not work, that kind of job, but I'm gonna be all in my acting. And that's cool. And I can also understand people who, you know, maybe somebody pays your bills, like, don't be embarrassed. You know what I mean? Like, that's the dream. Somebody else pays your bills.
That is the dream.
You know? So don't be embarrassed. I know some people get embarrassed about that, but that just means then you have a responsibility to do the work that we, you know, maybe some of us can't do because we are working.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
You should be a little further ahead.
You
got a little more time.
Right. But that being said, again, like, I'm also a big believer you gotta fix the internal shit, because I don't think this stuff will work. The whole acting and writing and creating with people, because you're just gonna be self-sabotaging the whole time. You know, it's gonna be a mess, because I've seen so many talented people kind of do that, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Get it together, man.
Like they have like outside influences or issues, like turmoil that
you know, either their self-esteem is so low they can't really see themselves, and that could be for many people here in LA, whether that's being truthful about what your age range is or or the fact you're still using a headshot from 3.5 years ago, and you know, literally your hair color is different, and you know, you don't even have those clothes anymore, like or just even some people who don't see like how great they are, or even some people who don't see how much opportunity they have to be great. So you know, and it's like everyone's so delusional a little bit, and it's like everyone's scared. It's almost like everyone's scared to really truly see their reflection. That's what I'm saying. I think the more work you do in that stuff, the more ahead you will catch up with everything else.
Well, what does that work look like?
For me, it was therapy, and it was like being honest in the therapy, and like holding myself accountable, and literally forgiving myself too, because I realized I had a hard time holding myself accountable because I was just like so scared about things, and it's like, why are you so scared about things? And it's like and it just stems a lot from like, you know, childhood trauma and all that stuff, and it was just stuff I really needed to face. And it was like, yeah, I'm out of it physically, but I never dealt with it emotionally, so it's like I was just stuck there, right? So for me, that's it. And I'm not saying that's for everybody, but I will say try it, and I think it just helps. It helps a lot. For me, that was like, I think, my jump to the next level, and I started being able to actually finish movies and finish scripts and finish, you know, classes, and you know, accept and go for like a job that I thought there's no way I was gonna get. Like my job right now, you know, like I said, it's a blessing. It pays really well, and you know, I can definitely see Jynelle from the past not even trying, because thinking, oh, I'm not good enough for this.
Mm-hmm.
And instead it was just like, okay, we're gonna try it, and it ended up working out, you know.
So I think that might even be a woman thing too, though.
You have to feel overqualified almost.
Yeah.
But that's crazy.
Because guys would just
apply,
and we're like, I don't really.
And if they have no options, they're gonna choose from there.
Exactly.
Yeah. I will say, I think we need ladies, strategy-wise, we need to be a little bit more daring in certain ways.
100%, we do, because men, they have that daring part down compared to us.
And I will say, I think men are rewarded even at a young age to be daring. Yeah. So it's just the act of daring. It's being daring itself was, like often rewarded, and I think for us, it's not. It's the opposite, right? So I think it's like fighting against that taught nature too, and even recognizing that you're doing it is like tough for a lot of people.
What would you consider to be like the most challenging part of your process? You can think of it like from, I guess, maybe the writing to I don't know, class, just your journey. Like, where would you call the most challenging?
I think the most challenging in my journey, I think for me, I will say things improved drastically once I decided to do it on my own terms. And that meant I'm going to get a full-time job. I'm going to do this my way. And it started snowballing from there. And it was, hey, I'm going to get my full-time job. And then, you know what? I'm going to take classes at night so I can build up this skill. That's what I'm going to focus on right now. And then once I, kept advancing in that, I was like, all right, now I need, what's my next thing? I started trying to lay out a plan, right? Of like, hey, these are the things that maybe an actor should have right now, or a writer. I got my headshots. Then I did my IMDb, and look, sometimes whatever it is, as long as it makes you feel inspired, go for it. And then, and that was more for my resume, so I could see what I was doing, right? And I started working on my portfolio, which is my YouTube channel, and trying to figure out what am I calling. Right now I need to get my LLC basically right now. So now I think for me, my next step is, okay, I shot 6 short films last year in 6 months because I wanted to learn that skill. Because then I became more daring, right? And now it's like, okay, I think it's time for me to go ahead and get an LLC. LegalZoom. Like I kind of have done the research. Sometimes I still am afraid to like pull the trigger for no reason.
Yeah. LLC, just pull the trigger.
Yeah, there's nothing to that. Exactly. There's nothing serious about this. So I think it was once I just started giving myself permission to be me and not copy someone else's plan or advice. Because advice is good. To know how things work is good. And people are sharing that advice because it truly does work. And I think for me, it's about understanding that advice and then also understanding where that advice would kick in for you. Because, for example, I remember I met, it was my girlfriend's mom, who, actors, da-da-da. And she and I were talking about something, and, she had certain feelings on, like, short films about how they're almost useless and not really worth it for anything. Because where she is in her phase of her career, right, she's more interested in maybe the business or building up that money and that kind of thing. But for me, I like short films as an actual form of art. I think I do too. I think it's great, and I think it's like you can tell so much from a little bit. Why not? And yeah, sometimes you expand it into something bigger, but sometimes the short film just stands on its own. It's just a cute little sketch, is a short film. A cute little moment, a cute little thing that you witness. It doesn't necessarily need to be so huge.
It doesn't need to be 30 minutes. It doesn't. It can be 5.
Yeah, it could be 2 seconds or 2 minutes or something, or like 7-second short films. But I also like how you have to be creative, and oftentimes it is people starting out doing shorts. But that's something beautiful in it too. That means this is like our training ground. Short films is like where we all are learning. I sometimes I do wish people would be a little bit more respectful with short films. It's not just it's not just a proof of concept. I know a lot of people think
Right.
it's a proof of concept, which it can be.
It can be, but
But it also, I think,
sometimes it
deserves
just
its
stands
own
on
respect.
yeah, it stands on its own.
Yeah, it should be. If it doesn't, then like I don't
Right.
know, like you know. But yeah.
Well, you said something, right? No, I was just gonna say, yeah, you take, what applies, and then you just leave the rest. Like some advice is wonderful advice, but if it's not applicable to you, then
Yeah, or if you're not understanding it right now, nothing's gonna make you understand it.
right.
Maybe in
Maybe
6 months, a year,
you will later.
you're like, oh, that's what that. And I get it. There's a lot of traps you fall into at first. But just remind yourself, you've always been resilient. You've always learned, and information can change based on your understanding.
And if you're doing something, you're gonna fall into a trap. That's just to show you're doing something. Yeah.
Exactly.
So
it's actually a legitimacy
exactly
experience for you.
Exactly.
For the person, yeah.
So it's not to say this isn't for you. It's just part of the process. I'm not going to even say unfortunately, but fortunately.
Yeah, it's really how you learn. I think failure is important, as hard as it is. We all want nothing but success, but like failure is really where you learn and you toughen up, and I think that's where you really learn what your character is.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, I shot 6 short films last year. I really just show off like 3 of them. Because the other 3 weren't really up to scratch, and one of them I don't show to anybody because there was just so much going on with that. But I learned so much from that,
mm-hmm.
And I learned things about me too that I need to watch out for, And again, back to my like corporate life, those are actually some of the same lessons that I just keep learning and relearning. So it really just helps me become a more refined like person that I want to be, because they're really, to me, in tandem. That to me, I see them as in tandem. I don't see them as different. I know some people think of it as like a hard line, but I think that's a choice you're making, because you are who you are as the person, and that's where the artist draws everything from anyways. But if you're disassociating half your life, then how are you going to draw from that?
Exactly.
Though I did, I guess, technically make a film about disassociate. I feel like that's what Kismet was a little bit. The clown one, remember?
You could make but art is definitely a reflection of lived experiences.
And I think nowadays, too, people, I feel like, are trying to convince people to agree with them through the art. I think you're supposed to showcase something strong, a strong point of view, whether or not the viewer agrees or disagrees is part of their viewing experience.
Right.
I just feel like a lot of things I've been watching recently has a lot of like a exposition to the point where I feel like, are you scolding me? Are you, what the hell is this? It's like, yeah, when it's told outright, it just doesn't feel like a reward, It feels like, yeah, no shit, like I understood, That's why I think the most powerful, like, shows, movies that people love the most, they have some ambiguity to them, but a general consensus of what it means. Like, you watch Breaking Bad, you know what I mean? They don't really tell that much. They really just show, his
that's
dissension.
What well, in writing film and TV, it poses show. Like that's a general rule. To pretty much show things versus
show, don't tell, yeah.
Telling, yeah.
But I feel like a lot of writers haven't been following that recently. That I've been seeing a lot of work. They've been telling, not showing. I'm like,
I can see. I haven't really picked up on it recently, but this is me being like probably more so devil's advocate, even though he don't need no advocates. I can just see that. I mean, why or how that comes about. Because I remember, especially in my earlier time, I was really good for that. Because I'm very good at writing dialogue. I probably because I like to talk. I don't know, but I can hear.
But that's your strength. Yeah.
Going on,
and like a
head.
realistic, but also movie form of it.
Exactly. So, but it's like, well, it's a show and tell format, so I probably,
especially plays are like that.
Yeah. So I'm just like, I'm getting in other people's minds here. I'm like, that might be somewhat what they, or it could just be a rookie mistake. I don't know.
Or it could honestly, I understand too, it's so collaborative, the entertainment industry, that sometimes it's literally, it could be a producer that's so far removed and says, no, I want you to say it.
Yeah.
So, and I understand that too. Because even in the corporate world, there are some things you're just going to have to accept it's been changed. That's it. You know? So definitely afford people like that grace. But I think that's also part of the beauty of like where we are in our careers right now, which is we're not obligated by any reputation. We're not obligated by anything. You know what I mean?
The freedom is nice.
And I think that's what I've been trying to really focus on recently. Like, I can make anything that I want. It doesn't have to be, what's the cheapest thing I can make? What's the thing that I can do in this setting? Just write it and find a way to make it happen. And if you need to make changes, sure. But you need to just do it. Because there's definitely like a lot of genres I love. Like, I love a good detective, like, series, story, novel. And I have a bunch of detective ideas. And I'm like, I gotta start shooting this.
Just shoot it. Just write it.
Yes, I want to watch a movie where I'm out here solving crimes, and murders and shit. Like, I have plenty of synopsis ready.
Girl, you better put some dialogue in action with that and get it out there.
Detective I have like fantasy detective agencies. I have like regular detective agencies. I want to solve murders. I don't know.
So what do you find that might stop you from just, like you said, just writing it?
I think I am still struggling with like maybe a little bit of imposter syndrome and maybe a little bit of just, I guess, scared, even though I've like done it several times. I think it's just, I think it's just like that little fear in my mind still is there.
What is her name? Y'all gotta excuse me. I'm a woman of a certain age and I get brain fog. But what Abbott Elementary, what's her name?
Quinta.
Thank you. She said she's never had imposter syndrome.
And I love that.
I'm like, girl, how? I'm like, what do you have in you that clearly, I mean, it's some type of gumption, I don't know. But I think she always kind of just like flat out knew this is what she was going to do, where she was going to go, where she was going. And she kind of just paved that path for herself.
She did. She really did pave it.
So I guess in that sense, maybe this is why she's never had imposter syndrome. But I'm like, wow.
And I've heard athletes say that. I like an athlete say that too. And I think that's really awesome because I do too. Because I think we talk about it and then we expect ourselves to have it and then we start questioning, wait, should I have it? Wait, why am I thinking so highly? And then it starts. And for me, I think it's still there sometimes of imposter of like, I can't do this. I suck. Maybe everyone thinks I suck. Maybe I do really suck. Is that why, it just starts rolling in.
Like, even for me, like with my short film that's in the film festival, I was like, wait, so people are going to see it? And my cousin was like, you see, I didn't say the name.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine. But and that's part of me being like, because I don't know nobody.
Oh, and earlier,
I don't know nobody find it or things of that nature.
Earlier, when you first started this, you were like, oh, I was doing little short films. But little is so degrading. They're already short, so
exactly.
It's already a little.
It's already little, right?
Yeah. But I do the same thing.
But they were littler. They were smaller. Like
it's still a short film.
6 minutes.
It's still a short film. Right? But it's those little things. It's those little digs we give ourselves. So I'm trying to be better about it, and I'm trying to give myself like kudos and flowers, and be okay with feeling awkward.
Because it's such an awkward feeling. Like, I'm even sitting here, I have trepidation about Wednesday because I'm like, I'm going to be sitting there with a bunch of strangers who are going to be looking at not only my work, but my face. So that kind of like brings a little,
that feeling of like being judged.
Yes.
And I also sometimes feel like, oh, people are going to know I'm a phony it's gonna be revealed
Yeah.
or something. But that's
All
so
that goes
still.
through your
I've literally been myself for so long.
But then let's be real. So think about like even your biggest director or filmmaker. How many of their films have you seen that you've loved, and how many have you seen you've been like
People still criticize, yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I hate to say, but Spike's most recent film that came out 2 weeks ago on Apple was already out in theaters, but Highest to Lowest. People dogged that film.
Really?
Like dogged it, and I understood why.
I haven't seen it.
But he's my favorite director. But I was like, yeah, this ain't.
Yeah,
And it had Denzel in it. You know, it had Denzel.
Damn.
Somebody else I forget.
Oh, didn't it have is that the one with ASAP?
ASAP, yeah. Who kind of to me played himself? But yeah.
We
so
must
people,
have done Meisner. So.
And even for Denzel, I was like, why did you take this role? Because I was thinking
Probably
myself,
because I wonder if it's because he wanted to work with Spike
again.
Yeah, especially at the tail end of his career. It's a final. It's a nice moment in Black history.
And I'm sure that's why.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's why.
But unfortunately, it just fell short.
Yeah.
Of like that, and that's the thing too. You can't put those expectations. Creativity is every creation is a gamble.
Exactly. So I'm like, we put that on ourselves. Like
they're
gonna
who you making it for anyways.
Right.
Spike Lee ain't making it.
I mean, he wants
that
you
shit for us.
He had a point in the movie where he was screaming like they're on the train. They get on the train, and they're clearly going to like a Yankees game, and they're screaming Boston sucks. And I was like, oh, Spike must really hate Boston.
Oh, see,
and he screamed like the dude screamed it in the screen. I was like, yeah, he hates Boston.
But hey, it's his movie.
Exactly.
It's his movie.
Exactly. He made it for himself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love that. I love it when I defend other people. But I should say, but that's the thing. I'm trying to say you have to be your own champion, and sometimes that means even telling yourself you will listen to these accolades. Yeah. You did get into that film festival. You do deserve to be there. You know what I mean? You think that they just chose one,
and you give your own screenings. Like you did your own screening.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I love that I did that for myself.
Yeah.
I was in full control. I loved it. It was so fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice to celebrate beautiful things in your life with people that you care about. And
Exactly.
Yeah, I wish you made it to that screening.
I do too. I think I was doing my own in Harlem.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yep.
You're always somewhere.
Apparently Harlem this
year.
But yeah, so that's great. What would you, for like an aspiring artist that wants to get into, I don't know, writing, directing, producing, some form of filmmaking, what would some of the advice you would give them to just get going?
Okay, I'm going to give super practical advice. It is going to be actually sit down and write, even if it's pen and paper, even if it's your notes app, even if it's just notes or vibes that you're just doing, go do it. If you want super practical advice and you're not quite sure, like you didn't study screenwriting, I didn't study screenwriting, you can actually go online and study screenwriting. There's different classes. Of course, there's YouTube. But for example, in LA, there's many classes here, right? And you want to almost go with a school you definitely want to go with a school that you trust, whether that's word of mouth or if they just have a great reputation. So for example, a lot of people sleep on this, but like you can take online classes from LA specific schools anywhere. You can be in Canada, you can be in Australia, you can go, the Groundlings, UCB, those are some great improv schools. They do a lot of sketch or writing classes online. Go look it up. Like even if you're literally, I'm in Atlanta and I haven't moved yet, or I'm in Iowa, I'm in Utah, I'm in Ohio. That's something real you can do. You can actually read the book, the Sanford Meisner book on acting. And it's actually, there's literally an audiobook on Spotify for free, acting book, so that you can listen to it more. You can like think about it more. You can also they do online acting classes now. You can also do, shoot yourself. Open a YouTube, do some monologues. Google monologues.
Yep.
Put yourself out there, as embarrassing as it is.
Databases.
You have a phone. Go out and shoot. Go and find a friend. Even if you don't have a friend, challenge yourself to be able to do it yourself. Or use stuffed animals. Or learn, use Barbie dolls. Use something. Use reflections, shadows.
One of the ways that I used to, I've got this from somebody who I was in class with. I used to go to Last Acting Studio downtown, and we had to, class, you're paired with somebody. So one of my partners, she told me that she recorded herself, like she recorded my lines so she could practice with them.
Yeah,
so
a lot of actors do that.
I was like, that is a good idea. I didn't know. And so I started doing that, and it helps you to memorize so well. So I'm like, there are ways that...
Yeah, Google acting techniques, because it actually is down to a science. And there are, like, people do that. I've also like in Meisner, we learn, rewrite your dialogue, but you take out all capitalization, you take out all punctuation, and then, like, we don't write the other person's line, we only read our own, so that when we're hearing it, it really is fresh, because we only know the information, and it's going to connect once they say their lines. But you have to listen to them too, in case they skip around, right? Things happen.
Right.
But it's really about being present. But, like, other practical advice, go ahead and get started. If you take an acting class, ask people. Like, those are the people that are going to tell you, how do you audition for movies and things like that. Actors Access, casting networks, right? LA Casting. Go make your profile and put a real picture. And if you can't afford $500 headshots, ask someone just to even take, like, a passport style photo. It's still better than nothing. Also, like, just be as professional as you can be, but without pretending to be professional, like, on the things that don't matter. Like, people just want to know, like, are you serious? Do you love this? Are you passionate? Can I work with you? Can I see myself working with you? But honestly, like, write your books, write your novels, show them off to people, do table reads. That's free. I ask a lot of my friends to do this. I've asked you. Where I'm like, I have a script. What are you doing Monday at 7 p.m. on Zoom? I'm going to give you a link. Here's the character. And then I record it, and that's my workshop, because then I can ask you guys what you think, and then I go back and I, like, listen to it and see how it feels and what do I need to change. But, like, those things are free that people kind of sleep on. Like, everybody just wants to be part of, like, the big day, the big project, but it's like you kind of have to earn your way there by showing up for the smaller things, with people that you truly vibe with.
And if you say this is something you really want to do, you're going to, like we said, in today's world, you can do it. You can just do it. So
TikTok is your studio.
Yeah.
Instagram is the other channel. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
YouTube. And they're literally, I mean, those sites are literally paying you too for your own content.
They're actually paying you. So.
And push yourself.
There is no, so you have to push yourself.
Don't be embarrassed. Well, you will be embarrassed. You know what? Be embarrassed, because that's a good thing. The more you embarrass yourself now, the less embarrassed you are later, and the stronger you will be. It's the embarrassment that makes you suck. That's what it is. You have to go full out, and you can't go full out if you're embarrassed. That's why you suck right now. It's because you're too embarrassed. You have to be as comfortable as possible.
Well, no. You can act like you're comfortable too. I'm good at faking it. I'm not comfortable with a lot of things I do. I just fake it.
Well, that's good too. But find your route, whatever that is for yourself. Yeah. And I think too, like, really show up for opportunities. Like, we took that writing class separately. We were in different writing classes. But how many students did he have? Doug, our screenwriting teacher. He asked everyone in all his classes if they wanted to come and be PAs for his web series. And it was a really good, legit production. There were 4 of us. And who was really there? Like, it was really just the 2 of us, too, I feel like. Because people were, like, super late or, like, this or that, or they had to leave. Because it's like, it's too small for them.
Yeah.
Just a production assistant.
Please do not get a big kid before it's time.
PAs are,
the PA I
unsung
had
heroes
in Harlem Blues. That little boy, top tier, like top tier.
Mm-hmm.
I told him, you can go home. I was like, it's late, it's cold, it's dark. You can go home. He said no. He said, I'll stay until, the last moment. I'll stay until you leave. I was like, who are you?
I love that. That's awesome.
Like he was the first one there, the last one to leave. I was like, this little boy is amazing.
I love that.
I hope he gets a job. And I was really happy that I could provide the opportunity for him, because he told me that he's always like trying to get things, and they just wouldn't come through. So I was like, he hit me up last minute, and I was like, yeah, come. And he was the best.
Mm-hmm. And see, that's the thing too. It's like you always feel like you're behind, but you're always a little ahead of someone else, and you can always help them behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes you stronger too.
It makes you a lot stronger.
Mm-hmm. And you'd be
Absolutely.
surprised too. Like people know a lot of things you might not think they know. People walk on as a PA, but you don't know what's gonna happen after. Like me and you were PAs for that,
Mm-hmm.
and then we ended up getting along, and then we started collaborating.
Mm-hmm.
And then we made like a short together,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully more.
Yeah.
So I don't know, opportunities can it can really be kismet. It
Really
fate.
can. Yeah. And Doug was awesome too.
Oh, I remember, and through you, I met Tyler, who ended up being in my movie.
Yes.
In a separate movie, totally
Yes.
different, and he was so good in it, and it was
And that film is,
Girl to Girl.
and it's now where?
It's now playing. It's gonna be honorable mention at a Spooky Empire Film Festival in Orlando, Florida. And I texted Tyler, and he said, "Yeah." Was he just waiting for me to ask him? I didn't know he was from there.
I was like,
Was he just waiting for me to ask
that
him?
he's from there.
Was
You
he
go
waiting
home.
for me to ask him?
Probably like.
Tyler, he had mentioned he's from Florida a long time ago, but I didn't quite
I was
put
like,
it
all you gotta
together.
do is go home. When is it?
It's in Halloween.
But it's Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
31st to like the
So I
2nd.
hope he's coming to homecoming. That's another whole thing. But
But yeah, so I was like, you should represent us,
yeah,
man.
heck yeah.
Heck yeah. Honorable mention? That's dope. But
And
yeah, you meet more and more people.
you meet more and more people, and I don't know. It almost solidifies. Like, yep, this is what I'm supposed to do. Yep, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Exactly. Especially when you meet people with the same work ethic, because I will say
Mm-hmm.
there's definitely a mismatch in that as well, which is fine. Things happen, and you find the people that take you seriously,
Mm-hmm.
that take your work seriously.
Right.
Because that is the other thing. That was one of the failures I learned from last year. Was there was a script, and I was still learning as a director, so I will definitely take that there was a lot I could have been stronger in. But definitely, a lot of people came in unprepared. They didn't have that many lines, but maybe that's why they thought it wasn't big enough.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like, why would I trust you with something large? You gotta deliver for me here. But yeah, I don't know. It's just sometimes it is frustrating when someone is so selfish that they only see what's in it for me. Oh, this isn't big enough for me. Or you'll hear tales of people who are like, I brought my best friend up with me, gave him this role. I somehow managed to raise $100,000, and he comes in late, doesn't know his shit.
Yeah.
Because it's not, to him, that's not his big break. For whatever reason, sometimes our friends don't believe in us really. If we're being honest, if we're being truthfully honest, sometimes, the haters are inside the house.
I would say it's not usually the people who. That's one reason I love TikTok, because on TikTok you got complete strangers who are rooting for you. You're on TikTok, you have a whole community of people you do not know.
Yeah.
And most of them are commenting your comments or on your
they're being real
videos.
too.
Yeah. And you're making conversations in DMs, and it really feels like a community. Instagram are usually people you know, and you will put something up and you will not. That's a twist. I didn't untwist it. That's what happens with natural hair. And people you have all these followers or friends or whatever, and you'll have an eighth of those likes. So it's
Mm-hmm.
they say
They won't watch your short. It's on YouTube.
Yes.
It's 4 minutes and 11 seconds.
It's like, okay,
okay.
believe them when they say that it's usually strangers that will support you. It's not your friends and family who are going to be your biggest supporters, even though those are the people you would think.
You would think so.
Don't let it hurt your feelings either.
I mean, if you're lucky enough where that is true for you, where like your support system is supporting you, for you, that's amazing. And if you don't have that, just remember, like, they're really not talking to you when they're discouraging you. They honestly are just trying to make it okay that they didn't try, that they didn't live up to their expectations. And the crazy thing is they could still turn around and do it right now. That's the thing. Anybody can do anything right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I should have moved when I was 17 to LA. I should have done it when I was 21, when I was 26. Do it at 49. Do you know how many 49-year-old roles there are out here? And it's like a very small pool by the time they get to that age. And people are, again, this is the age thing. People are like missubmitting themselves. You're out here looking 50. Why are you submitting for 35-year-old roles?
Right.
You know?
But no, that's actually true. Like, do it whenever you feel. I moved to LA at, I think I was 38.
I did it at 30.
And
yeah,
with a full-fledged career, 10 years at that point, almost in the government. That was actually kind of like a second career. Yep. So I was teaching before. I was teaching before that.
You'd lived. You'd already lived.
I had lived.
Already made career changes.
I had lived. I had multiple degrees. I was making a very nice salary, and I was like, you know what? It's time to. I pulled the plug out that bug. I was like, I don't know. You just. Well, I don't know. I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but as for me, and with my creative mind, it just wouldn't stop biting at me. And so I was like, I want to move to LA. It's COVID. I can work from home. This is my opportunity. If not now, then when?
Yeah.
And so I picked up and I moved. And yeah, and I was like, I'll just keep doing the stuff I'm doing out here, and then hopefully
your whole life here, you're making films. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And I really can see that.
Just do it.
Yeah. It's really just.
And it was not easy because I left DC. I'm not from DC, but I had built a life in DC.
Mm-hmm.
I had built a life that I love. I had a lot of friends. I loved my church. I did not like going to work, but I did love my coworkers.
Yeah. You built a life.
Yeah.
You put
my
roots.
mom had started living there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a life. And so it's not. So we're not sitting here like, oh, just da da da, and it'll be the easiest thing in the world. No. Nothing usually that we want is easy. Yeah,
but you ask yourself, is it worth it?
Right.
Is it worth it to work up for me?
And one thing that like pushed me out the door and like, cause it kind of like scared me. It was like, well, I know what this looks like. So is this gonna be my forever? I'm like, is there
nothing's forever though. It's
right.
Crazy that we think that, but it's like, no, nothing is really gonna be forever, and you can always pivot and change. And why not? If you need to refocus on work, why not just do it in LA versus DC?
Right.
And then you're already here.
Yeah.
Like I do think there's a mentality of like black and white, all or nothing, all the way, zoom, or nothing. And it's like, no, you're allowed to pull over.
Yeah.
You're perfectly, even NASCAR, they go to the side, they change their tires and shit. They've changed their tires, fuck, dude. You're not going to win this.
Like the tape says in my room. Pause.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In your bedroom, right?
Yeah. Like it's okay to pause.
And it's okay to live your life, and it's okay to experience things, and because definitely some people, it's like they almost put like their regular life on hold so that they can focus on their career. And again, I think that's detrimental to the artist, to the person. And I don't know, you're just missing out on so many things too, that you never really know. I think something about being open to whatever spoils the universe wants to give you at whatever time, there's some beauty in that. And it really will lead you to the other shit too. Like it's all interconnected, but like you're like being your own enemy. You're like swimming against the tide that's trying to bring you where you want to go.
Right.
Because you're like, no, I know a better way. And it's like, you're going to go all the way across the world. What the fuck are you talking about? And with that, I would like to thank
Thank you for being here, and I loved our conversation, and I hope we have so many more.
Yes.
We will have a lot more.
Yeah, I think we have some projects on the horizon.
Yes, 110%. And I want to thank you guys for listening. If this served your soul, if you liked it, give me a like, share, subscribe, you know, that whole thing. But share it with someone else who might be in there in between, you know, wanting to get into film, wanting to get into maybe the next path that they think that they should be taking. And I hope it does them a body good. Until next time, y'all.
Bye bye.